reminding passengers to keep a watchful eye on their luggage and personal belongings at all times.
Good morning. It's another cool morning, which I'm going to take advantage of. Because today, we're going to take these floorboards out and we are going to start the process of putting new bands in the transmission. I probably won't film a whole lot of me disassembling it, but somewhere along the line I will start filming so you can kind of see how these wood bands go in. I did a search on YouTube and I couldn't find anybody putting in the wood ones. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, I tell a lie. I saw one guy do it. It was brake bands I couldn't find. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Never done this before. Alright, I've got this far. I've got all the bolts out of it. And if you've got one of these tool things here, and it's too wide to just go down in there, and then it stops the bands from flying all over the place, it's probably more useful for when you put it back together. But I wanted to figure out how this goes on here, and you have to get something underneath the lip of the hogshead and just bring it up. Looks like about a ½ inch, and then you can shimmy this piece in there and it'll slide in underneath those springs and rods and whatnot. So like I say, this is more for when you put it together, but I kind of wanted to practice getting it on and off of there. So there we go. That's how that works. Okay, we're about 2 hours later. I've never taken the hogshead off with the dash and the steering wheel all hooked up and all that jazz, so that was an experience. But it worked. I've got this deal here going on. It holds the dash up. Kind of primitive Pete, but it works. So, had a few swear words, but it must have been the magic words because it came apart. Yep. So now I gotta learn how to do these bands. We will find out. Alright, I ground off the heads of the brass rivets and I kind of messed around with it a little bit and got it a little more round. It was pretty out of shape. So now I guess I figure out what I'm doing next. So we'll get back to it. These bands, you need, where the rivet goes, it needs to be recessed into there with a flat hole. Is that what I want to say? I guess so. Anyways, my first plan didn't work. This is my second one. This is a deal I bought for recessing screws. It's all adjustable and everything. Anyways, I ground it differently so that it'd be flat. Goes in, turns, makes a flat recess. So, works pretty good. I mean, you know, I could have did a better job on it, but it does the job and that's enough. So this is try number 2. It seems to be working. I got to drill them from the outside in first, just so I know where the hole is.
Council. And one of those organizations is in Denver. Miller is on the line with us now, and she is we help people connect through.
That can quit doing that anytime. In the there it is. It's on there. This is snapped back on. I don't know if you can see in there. They're all recessed in, pounded over on the outside. So there we go. Okay, there's the stack of bands all ready to go. Got to clean that up. Got to take off all the old gasket crap here, which is not that old, but still. Take it all off, put on new, and shut the radio off. Okay. Yesterday, my friend Jeff stopped by with a present, and this is what he brought me. A spare tire carrier. And it's in pretty darn good shape. I mean, it looks rusty and whatnot, but what didn't when I drug it home? So yeah, we'll mount that baby. Oh, dang, it's kind of heavy. Right on the back there, some ways, some form. You have a spare tire. I gotta do a lot of work on that rim, but I think it'll come around. I think it'll be all right. The ones that are on there now weren't too cherry when I started, but a little bit of brazing, a little bit of grinding, they'll come around. Anyway, thanks to Jeff for finding that for me. He's got a 24 Model T that we featured on the channel last summer, and he had it over here. He just put a new high compression head on it, so I'm waiting to see how it works out for him before I plunk down 400 bucks for one. He seems to like it so far. It's all right. We got that far. I may do it for today. I'm just not sure. Well, it's a stormy day today. Lots of rain. And let's see, it's not too exciting in here because the task at hand today is scraping all this old gasket off of here, and then off, or that felt off around the engine. And yeah, lots of life-ruining work here. So I might as well just get to it and get it over with. All right, we're working on the hogshead, getting it cleaned up, and we'll get our what do you call it's in there? What am I trying to say? O-rings. See if we can cut down on this thing leaking a little bit. So, and we've got the gasket drying on the pan. I don't know how much this is going to leak, but you know, I'm not sparing the sealant, I'll tell you that. And we'll see what happens. This is how I did it before. It worked fairly well, kinda. So we're gonna try it. All right, here we are. Yesterday we got that far. I just got out here. I haven't even drank my tea yet. Oh, I did get this. I did get a pin put back in here this morning. This one right here. I put O-rings in these. Took them all apart. We'll see if that cuts down on the oil spillage. But let's see. I've got an issue with this hole right here. It's kind of stripped. Somebody stripped it out, you know, years ago, and it kind of seeps oil right there. I'd like to do something about that. I'm going to see what I've got to do to come up with. We got the bands in. I got them wired together here so that the rods can settle down in there. Man, I'll tell you something about these wood bands. They are not nearly as flexible as the cloth ones. So getting these together was rough. I kind of used this useless tool a little bit, just to kind of hold them till I got some wire on them. But I guess a lot of guys use this, but evidently I'm just not smart enough to use it right, because I think it's kind of crap. Anyways, next thing is setting it down on there. We'll see how that goes. Alright, it's a new day. Got a fair amount of rain last night. And I think we've got enough now. So, and we've got new tea this morning. So we're into that. And we got to get this hogshead back on here. And one problem is you can't get it in there and slide past this. At least I can't seem to be able to. So we're going to have to get this moved back a little bit. And to do that, I have decided, get this out of the way. I've decided I got to let the rear end down while keeping the chassis at the height it's at now. I'll do that with some jack stands. I got a plan for that. I mean, I only need that universal joint to come back a ½ an inch, and I've got it made. So that's what we're going to attempt to do. We'll see. Alright, we've got a gap in there now. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm back about a ½ inch with this. So we'll goober it up again and see if we can slide it in there. Man, I'm going to need to go way further ahead than that. That's not going to work. Rethink. Alright, we got a bigger gap in there now. Can't seem to remember how much I needed. But we'll find out. How I did it was I lowered the rear end and spring down out of the chassis. I carefully put it on those jack stands where the running boards go, trying not to stress them too much. And I pulled the axle back about, looks to be about an inch. I really don't want the coupling to come apart because that's a bitch to get that back together. So let's try it, see what we can do here. I think I got it on there. That was a struggle. Well, I didn't chew that up too bad. Alright, let's get some more grease in this hole and get this rear end back in it. That's how far back it has to go for your hogshead to fit in there. Now, You guys with the older ones, you don't have these ears on here. So it might be a little bit easier. The 26 and 27 had the ears, which, you know, were a good thing. It made it a lot more solid. But it's just one more thing to get in the way when you're putting this in. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, this is how far we got today. Got the hogshead on, got it bolted down, got the drive shaft poked back in there, got the spring back up into the chassis. Boy, that was a job. I'm glad you don't have to do this very often. And I got the springs and the nuts back on in there. Because these wooden ones are so thick, when you get these adjusted to where they're about right, you know, close, the spring just flopped back and forth. So I took, these are the old kingpin bushings from this car, ones I knocked out, and I cut them down and made spacers right there. So now the spring actually does something now, instead of just flopping around in there. This one's still a little loose. I probably can go in a little bit on that yet. I don't know. I won't know until I you know, start it and move it and stuff. I'll leave all the floorboards out. Just put it around up and down the street here and see how it does. But boy, this is a job. I had it easy the first time because I put all this stuff in when it was, there was none of this. It was just a bare frame. So, you know, I had all the room in the world to work and no big deal. But boy, once you get a car built around it, it's a hell of a deal. So anyway, that's how far I am. Now I can start putting the dash back on, hooking the fuel line back up, brake rods, everything. So, yeah. Gotta hook the steering wheel back up. I really had to tear the crap out of this to get this done. But, yeah. Yeah, without moving this drive shaft back about an inch, I don't know how you do it. There might be a trick that I don't know, but I don't know how you do it. But that's the way it goes. First your money and then your clothes. We'll see you later.